Before we begin today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to
Buzz TV. Buzz TV brings you their own spin on Android devices like the Nvidia Shield and the Amazon Fire Sticks, taking software to the next level with their own app helping you stream anything, anywhere. Buzz TV listens to you, the customers, and consistently brings you the latest and greatest when it comes to hardware, software, customer service, and experience right out of the box.
And to find their products, guys, make sure you guys do go to buzztvglobal.com.
Don't forget to click the link in the description below to get yourself the latest Android device right from Buzz TV. With all that being said, let's start the show.
And welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Streams. Today we got special guests, two guests with us today, guys. So right off the bat, before we start, make sure you guys do leave us a comment below if you are in the audio. Leave us a review, leave us a message there. We like to read them. Next Level, how are you doing today, dude?
Yo, it's been a crazy day. You've been trying to get a hold of me all day, and you were like, "Are you alive? Are you okay?" And then you finally called me like half an hour ago, and I'm like, "I'm driving." You're like, "You're driving all day?" I'm like, "I'm driving, man. Going somewhere. Got places to go."
Literally, it was literally like all day. Like, "Hey, dude, are you awake?" He's like, "No." So I waited like, I think it was like 4 hours later. How about now? No answer. I was like, dang it. So for anybody who's watching, we do have the guys from ijustwatched. If you guys could take turns, give us a short little blurb of who you are, what do you guys do, and yeah, that way the audience could get a feel of who you guys are.
Yeah.
You go first.
That's fine.
I'm terrible at.
I'll go first. I'm Joseph Rohas. Hey. Whenever we can, we just film. I'm a huge movie buff, so it's like anything involved with filming anything is what I genuinely like to do. Started a indie film company here in Houston called Redefining Creations. Started I Just Watched with the homie here and the other homie David, and just give us an excuse to kind of talk about things we love, and we'll run with it. You know what I mean?
I'm the second half of I Just Watched, or actually more than 1/3 of I Just Watched.
Eric. Second half.
Yeah. Name's Eric. I basically just I collect movies, comics, action figures. We in our channel we do almost anything. Just anything basically you want us to react to or do, we'll probably do it.
Honestly,
we're doing unboxings right now, so that's kind of hectic because we're money wise.
Yeah, we're just like oh, we want all this. How much can you afford? Like technically, like none of it. None of it. That's future me's problem.
We make money to move around somewhere.
I don't need lights.
For sure. I did want to talk about the gaming portion of it, and one of the first things I said was, so okay, I guess I'm a PlayStation fanboy, whatever. Sony pony.
Sony pony.
All you see is like when he cries, it spells Sony on the way down.
Hey, it's okay. You're at the final stage. Acceptance.
You see the X, square, triangle, and circle coming down.
Bro.
So I asked Next Level, I'm like, hey, can you do me a quick research on Xbox? Sell it to me. What games are they having free on launch?
Yeah.
And he named like what, 3?
Well, there's like 5, but I mean, out of those ones, there was Gears of War 5. Forza
right
Horizon.
Remastered.
There was Forza 4, whatever you call it.
The racing game, yeah.
That's a good game.
Yeah, actually, it really is.
I didn't mean to like downstage by saying, "Oh yeah, racing game." No, I grew up playing racing games.
So this is the last time you're gonna see Eric.
Oh man, where did my list go? Because I had a list of 5, and now I don't know where my list went.
I'm looking at so
It's like Forza 5.
For the Forza 5, like, and seeing, like, I was like, oh, that looks dope.
Zero Dawn. That's
I'm
the
not
other
gonna
one
say
that's for PlayStation 5. Now that I remember. The second part, Horizon Zero Dawn, which is going. It's also
That'll
not
come out till, like, February.
Shut the fuck up.
It'll come out till February, sir.
Yeah, we're talking about what's out right now.
Yeah.
You know, what is it? Tetris?
Yeah.
Tetris is out for Xbox. Ooh.
Okay, here. It was Gears 5, Gears Tactics, Forza Horizon 4, Sea of Thieves, and Ori and the Will of Wisps. I don't know what that is, but hey.
I don't know.
Okay, ready? This is PlayStation.
I feel like you're cheating.
This is PlayStation. Free. Yeah, this is dude, PlayStation went total Game Genie cheat mode on. This is what they did. Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Ratchet and Clank, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Until Dawn, Uncharted 4, Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Crash Bandicoot, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, Monster Hunter, Mortal Kombat 10, Persona 5, and Resident Evil 7. Those are all $60 games and up.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, and the thing is, because like I like those. I like some quite a bit of those.
Me too. When I first turned it on, I'm like, so I've had it. I had it for a little bit, and I've been able to put my discs. You know, you could play just about almost every single PS4 game in there.
Yeah.
I know Xbox fanboys are going to say, yeah, but you can't play anything beyond that. It's like, wait a minute, they have PlayStation Now, which includes PS1, 2, and 3 in there. It's all digitally streamed. Who here has, and I'm going to ask anybody, whoever's watching us, if you have the disc, or I don't know what Xbox had. Xbox never had cartridges, right? They had discs.
Yeah, it was always discs.
Xbox was always discs.
Yeah.
Okay. So if anybody out there, you're
talking about Game Boys here and like the Super Nintendo.
I'm talking shit now.
Listen.
But they were like,
I know, they were tiny, but yeah, they were discs.
He's going full on Sony pony. Like he's going full on Sony pony. This Xbox with his cartridges.
You know what? No, because the Switch still has cartridges. As they don't. I don't think. No,
that's Nintendo though.
Yeah, but there's always been cartridges. Though.
Hey, hold up. Like this went from friendly conversation to cartridges. 64?
The NES. We're going back way back there.
So
Xbox cartridges.
Yeah. So let's
go.
If anybody does have the first Xbox and they actually have a disc that's not scratched and will work on your brand new Xbox, please let us know in the comments. Like, I want to know who you are and if you really do have that.
For real. No, the thing is, like, I'm waiting because someone's gonna be like, I've been waiting for this moment my entire life. Pulls out Halo 2 and like slides it in and starts going to work.
And see, that's the thing. It's like when they say, because Xbox says it's you could play all new stuff, of course, all previous stuff,
backwards compatible. Yeah,
that's all compatible. But yeah, backwards compatibility. Not every single game, but they said most of them will. Yeah. But then at the same time, it's kind of like, but who the hell has that disc? And what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to Microsoft and say, hey, back in 2004, I had this game. You guys need to make sure I have it in this one. Well, where's your proof? Where's your receipt?
I'm gonna do the same thing for Dead Space. Don't at me at this, okay? I'm gonna buy my Dead Space 1 and 2 copies, and I'm gonna pop it in the PS5 and be like, "Let's go!" I've been waiting to get remorse.
You talk shit now, but wait until you see those $5 bins at Walmart start to empty out.
Yeah, bro. I was like, bro, you're gonna go to like that, like home-owned. Oh my! Hey, look! Hey, that's an original Xbox game out in the wild.
For you guys listening out there, you're probably wondering what the hell we're cracking up on. I just pulled a Pac-Man from like 1989.
Yeah,
Pac-Man Nintendo from Nintendo. It's probably older than 89.
That's the NES. That's the original one. Yeah,
original.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That big Galaga, bro. Galaga. I love Galaga.
Me too. And then next time I was trying to find something over there.
Hold on. Next, are you gonna say like, hold up? Let me pull out Gears of War 1. Let me pull that out real quick.
Oh my God.
Out of his ass. He's like, hold on.
I have nothing like that. All I got is, hey, let me just pick up my Game Boy Color and put on my Pikachu.
I'm with this level though, because I actually have I have Gears of War 1 remastered for the Xbox One. I got Gears 2, Gears 3, Gears 4, and Gears 5. Like I want to just
a Gears fanboy.
We Gears, bro, all day. Like, first things first, that is one of the few shooters to give you such an iconic storyline that it's still pushing forward like that. Because like I love Halo, I really do, but Halo like started here and went up and then took a hard left and then like hasn't come back yet. Apparently the new one was Halo
They jumped really high and they never came back.
That's exactly what happened. So apparently the new one's supposed to be amazing, but I mean they said that for all of them. They really lost me after like Halo 3. Obviously, don't get me wrong. I want to play Halo Infinite. I want to say that's the new one, right?
I think so.
I had to step away for a second because this conversation was getting too dirty, and I had to grab my batarang just in case, like.
Like, just in case I gotta go, like I gotta ship somebody around here. Hold on.
He just went like this. I gotta get my batarang real quick.
It's okay. I got my katana right here.
Yeah, so I don't know. I look at like off of launch when all this stuff is available, and I'm just like, Sony did the same thing with the PS4.
Yeah.
On launch day, you had like just a shit ton of free games. Like if you had the PlayStation Plus,
yeah,
it was like they wanted you to come home, turn it on, and be like, look, here is a grip ton of games. Like you guys just do whatever you want. Here's everything that you guys need. With this stuff, I'm over here thinking like, man, like I bought the Mortal Kombat 10 and I bought the Batman Arkham, and I'm like, this is cool, but there's like a lot of games in here. I'm just like, I wish I did buy, and now I got them for free. Yeah, I'm like, for me, this is why PlayStation for me has like, I feel like they constantly take care of the end user. You know, they're like, hey, you know what? We're just gonna give you a grip ton of really, really good games. Here you go. Here it is. With Xbox, I'm just kind of like looking at it like, okay, who's gonna pull out their old games from the previous one and or wait months and months from now for the new Gears of War or Halo or whatever it is that they're gonna come out. So it's kind of like, I don't know. For me, I think the battle on this thing, for me personally, I think PlayStation's ahead of it already off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like, although like I don't want to agree because I'm an ass like that.
You mean because you're kissing ass for Xbox?
Well, because look, Xbox at the end of the day created my all-time favorite game. All right, I'll go to war with Marcus Phoenix, Dominic, Coltrane, and Barrett all day. All right, like I can name like
next level got impressive. You know what? Okay.
Like look, witnessing Ty being the baller and the cry, like just the storyline when he had to kill his own one. Though I will name drop everything. Ice-T's in the third one. And then like all the like, and then the way it ends, and like how you kill Carmine, and then you find out the third Carmine's alive, and he's just like, I can go in. Those games like have a special part of my soul. But like
they've been talking about a Gears movie for I feel like 10 years
forever, and I'm like, look, I don't have money, but here's like $2. I'm gonna give you every check to get this, to make this happen. Damn it! Like, all right, like I'll be one of the Carmines that gets shot. Just
is just like PlayStation 5 did get the jump. They do have more games.
At the end of it, PS5 or PS5, PlayStation in general, because they own so many of their own games.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to launch, they can easily be like, we own this here. You know what I mean? Versus Microsoft doesn't necessarily own that much of their own games. They will now, but
here's the thing though, right? So Bethesda had a lot of PlayStation exclusives. Yeah. And generally how stuff goes with a contract, even if the company is sold to another company, they have to fulfill the contract.
Yep.
But once the contract expires, maybe this year, maybe not this year, but maybe next year, what happens? Nobody really knows, right? So yes, Sony could have the upper hand right now, but who knows what's coming next year or the year after that, right?
Like maybe in a couple months, like what I'm saying, I was going to get to that. Yeah,
the transfer of hey, you'll see the transfer of power kind of slowly.
Wait. Well, my question is, because I'm not really good with like company names. What games are made by Bethesda? Because I can't think of
Fallout,
Fallout,
Wolfenstein, Skyrim.
Okay. Oh yeah, they did get a bunch of those. Yeah, they did.
And like I like
Elder Scrolls. A lot of people like that.
Like dude,
that makes sense.
I spent way too much of my own life
because I can see
playing Skyrim.
Because I can see Xbox in like the next year, probably like February or March, already are launching a bunch of revamped Bethesda games like Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, and just pushing it, in their new platform, man.
And those games have like heavy following.
Exactly. So
that's when you kind of get a little bit.
So
more
I think, and like this level said, like I think he's correct that within a year, not even like a year, I'd say like within the next year, that we'll see Microsoft pick it up and maybe surpass PlayStation. But I still think at the end of the day it's gonna be neck to neck, and it'll probably stay there until another decade when they launch PlayStation X and Xbox X Tentacion. I don't know.
No, bro, it's gonna switch up, bro. It's gonna be the PlayStation X and the Xbox 7.
Xbox squared. I think with Bethesda, it's so I know they're still under contract for a couple games. So it's several games that they're still under contract. Now I think I hope Microsoft isn't dumb, because if they already have a contract with Sony that they have to make some exclusives, of course Microsoft's gonna be like, cool, we're gonna do the games that we said for Bethesda's gonna fulfill that. We're gonna do it for us too.
Yeah.
Your extended games, what are they called? The DLC?
Yes.
You're gonna get exclusives to PlayStation, and then Microsoft's gonna get different exclusives for that. I can see that happening. I think if they're smart, I wouldn't. It's almost like saying like, hey Sony, guess what, you have to pay me now to make sure you guys get these games on your consoles. I personally, I would think with Microsoft, with now owning Bethesda, that'll be like the smartest thing for them to do. Like say, hey, let's extend this, let's renew this. We'll make the games the same for both, but there's going to be exclusives for yours, exclusives for mine on like some bonus features.
I agree. I agree. That way, you're not only are you making money off of like the game itself, but now you, like you said, Sony's gonna have to like reach into their pockets and be like, well, here, damn it, of course we want exclusives for our people. So they're like you put them in that jam where like you'll see people who's like, okay, Xbox is the only one getting exclusive. Sony can't let that fly. So they have to, come to some kind of agreement to maintain that quote unquote console balance. If not, that's when Xbox can start,
or they could be petty and just not give a damn.
Yeah, they could, but I feel like you would lose a lot of money, and then you might even lose people.
You might even lose his whole studio.
If you have this complete, like people who are just used to having the exclusives and all that, now you're saying that this other one is getting like more exclusives and it's things you're already attached to.
Yeah.
Now you're like, well, like fuck, now I need that. You know what I mean? Because I'm so attached to the story. I'm so attached to what they create. Versus this way, Sony still gets the benefit from it, but Microsoft would come out winning in like
at the end
in the numbers game.
Numbers game.
But let's be very realistic, right? Yes, there is profit in a sale of a game, but there is more profit when it comes to DLC, especially when we're looking at consoles being released once a decade now. Yes, they might be refreshed, but you buy the game once, you download content. A lot of times you can buy like season passes of DLC. You know what I mean? Because there's so much downloadable content. I do agree completely with what Rohas is saying. It would make a lot more sense to have exclusive DLC versus exclusive games, because if we start to go down the road of,
Microsoft took these games from me, we have big companies like Sony that owns a $200 million stake in Epic Games. So they could turn around and be like, well, shoot, you take those from me, then we take Fortnite from you. And
Fortnite's still huge.
That's a big problem.
That's a big problem.
Fortnite's still huge. I like, for me personally, I would be super bummed if they said Fallout will no longer be coming out to PlayStation. I've loved the Fallout series, like, but here's the thing: if they say, hey, we're gonna take Fallout and it's gonna be on Xbox exclusive now, you want to play Fallout, you gotta buy Xbox. Cool. Then Sony could just say, okay, well, we got games that are similar to that. We got the Uncharted, we got the Far Cry, we got Red Dead Redemption. There's several games that they're like, we have games that are similar to Fallout. And you know what? How about this? Since we already know how that platform works and we already know the post-apocalyptic and all that stuff, we'll just make our own series then, and we'll do it our way. And they'll, Sony has just come up, like, they've introduced so many games to the platform, like Kingdom Hearts. Like, I remember when I first played Kingdom Hearts, at first I'm just like, what the hell is this? Like freaking Mickey Mouse and Goofy, and with, like Disney meets Final Fantasy. I'm like, that's kind of dumb. And it ended up being one of my most favorite games, for me, Final Fantasy VII hands down is the most favorite game of all time. That game is just insane for me. But I think Sony would try to do exactly what they did when the PS4 came out versus the Xbox One. Xbox said, hey, all you indie people, you guys have two options: either get the hell out of here, or you guys work for us under this new Microsoft exclusive, whatever they're called. So they pretty much canned all the indie games. And what did PlayStation do? Come over here if you want. Whatever games you produce, it's your game. We'll put it on there. We'll even do PlayStation Plus exclusives where we'll pay for it and we'll give it to free for the people. And that platform like exploded with PlayStation, so they, PlayStation is very, very smart. The guy that invented the Xbox, what's it called? The Xbox camera, and the whole motion thing and all that stuff. He's working for PlayStation. PlayStation's VR system came from that guy's ideas.
Yeah. And
he was trying to push that onto Xbox, but Xbox said, no, we don't need that. And then they let him go. And then it's just like, but why? That guy had like the best ideas. Like, you guys had the best camera. You guys had the best motion censorship and all that stuff. Like, everything just worked really, really good. And then, of course, here comes good old Nintendo with their Wii saying, look what we can do with our remotes.
Yeah.
And then everybody else figured out how to do it too. Now you got PlayStation with those dildo looking things. Whatever. What it is.
We all know what you're talking about too as soon as you said it.
No, we all knew.
We're like, we all knew. Yeah, and it's crazy because it's like right now I can't wait for PlayStation's VR like to be out on the 5. Like, I'm over here like, okay, everything just came out. Their VR is on the back burner because of production and all that stuff that's happening around the world. I have a feeling VR is going to land a year from now, and they're probably going to do this whole big thing where it's going to be PlayStation 5 exclusive. You can get this whole VR thing with the new Spider-Man PlayStation 5 console that make it looks like web on it or whatever. I just have a feeling they're going to do something crazy like that a year from now, and everyone's going to go stupid with it. They're gonna be like, yeah, give me 5,
Yeah.
So
because I feel like VR, like my whole thing is like, have y'all seen Ready Player One?
Yes.
So that's the goal, to get to something like that, because that thing was amazing. Like, at the same time, the problem that's presented in the movie is like a very legit thing. Like, if I can play this all day, obviously I'm not gonna do anything else. So you do have to have like those days where like, look, it shut off like at least twice a week type thing. Go breathe some air. But like that's why whenever I see VR, like I see it just get better and better. I'm just like, I can't wait to have that thing where you can like put on a suit. It's like this full motion. It's like, oh, it's almost. It really takes you from like I'm controlling it to like being the character. Like I just little by little, I see like we're getting closer and closer. I'm excited for it, but I'm also kind of worried because I'm like, I'm one of the people who's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing this all day.
Well, you know what's going to happen is they're going to say like, hey, here's this VR that you could put the suit on, and then you could walk on it, and then you got some boots and all that stuff, and then they're going to start selling like treadmills with this thing. So now if you want to play like Call of Duty, you're all running on this damn thing. Like,
I mean, everybody would be fit,
right? You know, like I'm gonna come out like what happened to Joseph? I haven't seen him in like months. I'm gonna come out like with a six pack. What happened? Yeah, dude. I'm over here like, you know, I've been playing Gears. Like I'm over, you know how like for Gears, squat run, so you have to squat run in real life. I was like, yeah, dude, look at these thunder thighs. Look at these.
It's gonna be crazy with what they're doing. I don't know. For me, I'm excited. I tell everybody, I'm like, as much as I am a PlayStation guy, I want Xbox to put. I want them to put some badass games out there because that puts PlayStation on check. And this happened. This actually happened when the PS3 came out. It made no sense for like if you had a PS2, it made no sense to buy the PS3 because all the games were coming out for the PS2, and it was like some of the greatest games are on the PS2. You know, it's the number one selling console of all time, number one when it came to gaming, like the amount of games. You know, we're not even talking about like revenue. We're not even talking about all the accessories, like nothing like that. Just the amount of games that was available, and that was amazing. Not just available; they were like badass games. And so when Xbox was really, really smart during that time, they came out with their Move stuff, with their not their Move. I'm sorry, their camera. They started doing a lot of like the DDR, the Dance Dance Revolution thing, like how it picks you up and everything just synced really good. Their indie stuff was doing amazing during that time. Everything with the Xbox 360 is like they took that platform away from Xbox or from a PlayStation 3, and they were leading the playing field at that time. Yeah. Until they started saying, we don't need you, we're already good, you're out of here, like let's get rid of this department, let's create our own. You want to come? No, fuck you, come over here. You know, it was just like they did a hot mess of themselves towards the very end of the 360, and I think it had to do maybe with too much success in a short period of time. You know, so I'm kind of like I really hope like Xbox could figure it out and say, hey, you know what, we're gonna put the best shooter game ever. And we're going to take it. We're going to put the storyline to be better. We're going to do this better. We're going to do that better. We're going to do everything better. And then PlayStation's got to be like, well, crap. Now we got to come up with something good. You know,
not for
it's just
like,
healthy competition.
If like, and I mean, there's not necessarily like track, but if you kind of like look at like the place, like the console war, you can see like the PS2 obviously beat Xbox, but then you had the Xbox win when it came to the PS3, and then you had the PS4 beat out the Xbox. So now it's like trying to like, you know, with the, you know, of course it just came out, so you have to wait a little bit to see like which one is going to pull ahead in this instance of it. Is it going to be the PS5? Is it going to be the Xbox Series X? Like they kind of go back and forth. So I think it's going to be a combination because like performance-wise, like you said, they're so neck and neck, which really going to set it apart to like which one's going to like not necessarily win maybe in sales, but like as a gamer, I could be like, oh, I think the Xbox took it because of, I'm gonna say like it's gonna be the games that come out within the next year or two. It's what's really gonna set the two apart because, like I said, PS5 already has quite a few that they just revamped. You know what I mean, and re-released so that you can play now. But I think it's gonna be not necessarily just the exclusives, but it's gonna be a combination of like the multi-platform ones like Cold War or Cyberpunk, Valhalla. Like it's gonna be a combination of those, but almost at the same time like sprinkling all these multi-platform games, and then you're going to drop 1 or 2, 3 exclusives. That's where you can kind of see which one beats the other in a sense. if that makes sense, the way I said it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Next level, you got something on your mind?
Yeah. I was like,
I've been seeing that for a minute. He's like, hold on, hey, I'm about to check y'all.
Here's something that's very hypothetical and very interesting at the same time. So here's a slight history lesson. Back in 2007, I know this is dating this history lesson a bit, but Microsoft did a $240 million investment into Facebook. And I don't think they cashed in on that investment until 2017 or something like that. I don't know if they're still invested into Facebook.
Oculus.
But one of the companies that Facebook owns is Oculus.
Oculus, yeah.
So it would be really interesting if they jumped back in and Oculus did something with Xbox.
yeah.
And I think everything that Rojas was asking for in regards to competition and whatever, that would feed that fire pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody gets really smart and actually like thinks about it, and like, you know what? Don't we have Oculus? We should incorporate it. And actually somebody at Microsoft actually like, letting it happen for the Xbox, because like you said, Rojas, like it's like back whenever they did with the Xbox X,
Yeah.
they were with the Kinect, they had that, which was really great. And then they were like, no, we don't need it anymore. Well, now, like you said, they should jump back and get, try to go with the Oculus. And hopefully somebody there would actually like, take this idea and make it into fruition.
Yeah, combine it with like now they own Bethesda, to come out with like an Xbox exclusive Oculus Bethesda combo where now
because VR has right now a bunch of like
play
things
off of that.
Yeah,
just to kind of launch it, something like that, like to take advantage of the situation they're in, to kind of get back, because like you said, like the VR for PlayStation has been on point, so this will kind of put them back in that, at least in the very specific field. Like, okay, you know what? Now they have it too. Like now we can. So I want to get to my Ready Player One stats right now.
So I had a question for you guys, right? I really want a Nintendo Switch. And I kind of want a Nintendo Switch for the same reason that I love my Xboxes. I love my Xboxes for Gears of War, and I just want to play Mario Kart.
Yeah,
I feel you.
I will beat you guys on Mario Kart if it does come out.
I did ask want it, because like I want to play Mario Kart. Occasionally I want to do I can't remember the name. The battle. Oh my god. Kirby's my
Smash Bros.
I was like,
Smash Bros.
It took me.
And then because like I'm a sucker,
Mario Party,
Pokemon game. Like
Pokemon.
I want to catch them all.
The Switch, Nintendo got capitalized a lot on their sales for the Switch.
Yeah,
it's because so when the Wii came out, it was the best thing that Nintendo ever created, because now you can actually do interactive stuff and everything. And then they went back to Neanderthal times and decided to be like, you know what, we're gonna make a Wii U. Why in the hell would you make a portable platform when you already have a 3DS? And the 3DS was great. Trust me, I owned every single version of those handheld ones.
Yeah, you did.
I still own one. Shut up. Every once in a while, I want to play Pokemon. So when they announced the Switch and they said that it's going to be a portable, it's going to be a console. It does both. People were excited for it, and then they showed gameplay of it. And the Switch it's an amazing console. My one issue with the Switch is that I hate playing it portably, because the graphics on the screen they have is like, it looks like I'm watching it at 720.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have to say something. I have to stop you real quick. Is anybody playing a Nintendo console for the graphics?
Nobody's playing for the graphics. Nobody really isn't. Nobody really isn't. But there is some people out there who complain about it. I really didn't care. I never really played it portably. I always played on my TV, on the telly, and I put 1080, and that's it. That's on my television push, but it's great, and that's the only way I play it. But like portably, I don't. But on the TV, amazing. I love it. It's great, and I actually have Mario Kart 8, and it's great playing it on that thing. I do have to get different Joy-Cons, because the one thing that the Switch has a problem is the right Joy-Con. It will drift to the right, and people at first thought that like maybe they damaged their Joy-Cons and everything, but Nintendo said no, our Joy-Cons have been messing around lately. You just gotta mail it to us. We'll either fix it for you or we'll give you some brand new ones. But other than that, the Switch is amazing for if you want to play Mario Kart, go back to the Smash. Smash Bros had a lot of sales because they just jam packed it with so many characters.
Yeah,
and that's then they're still putting more characters because I think they announced like another character like 3 months ago. So they're still packing into it, and I think they did something else for this. They're still coming up with DLC. Animal Crossing had a lot of online sales when it first got announced during the first of this pandemic. So people were also buying Switches out of the wazoo just to play it. And then when they couldn't get an actual copy of Horizon Animal Crossing, they just bought it down. They just downloaded it.
Yeah. Nintendo is timeless, and I think as long as they produce a new Mario Kart, a new Smash Brothers, games like that, their consoles will never go away. And it doesn't matter about their specs. It doesn't matter anything about that. As long as they produce those 2 or 3 games, their consoles will stick forever in the Hall of Fame game consoles of time. They will always be up there with PlayStation and Xbox. You can't get rid of Nintendo as long as they have those things. Speaking of consoles you can't get rid of, have you guys heard of, and what's your input or expectations or thoughts on the Atari VCS?
Wait, Atari's making
hold up.
This is news to me.
2 things. One, I had a question, but now I have more questions. I was like, my original question was like Switch related, but now I want to put that right here because like, hold up, what?
So is there gonna be a Pong remastered as well?
I was like, this time you're the ball instead of
a square.
Dude, it's coming with the single joystick and the single button.
Wow, they're going retro all the way.
But it also has its own controller as well too. But they're going full on retro.
Bro, no, dude, if they really want to just revamp the GameCube, because the GameCube was savage, bro. That is wild. I did not know about that, and I'm adding it to my list of things that I don't need but will buy.
I'll make room for it right up here.
I was like,
will I ever play it? Maybe once in a blue moon.
Yeah, for real, like it's gonna be there. I'm gonna be like gaming on everything else, but I'm like, it's calling me today. Hold up.
So just to fuel your fire, so you can Google when this thing is done. The website is atarivcs.com, and you can pre-order. It does come with an AMD Ryzen processor. It has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It's compatible with most PC peripherals, and it's compatible with Atari speaker hat. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know Atari was still making stuff. But it has 8 gigs of RAM. It only has 32 gigs of onboard storage. So it sounds like it's kind of like more of a retro cloud-based kind of platform because it doesn't have a whole bunch of storage. So I think they're just trying to capitalize on some of our old heads that are still living in the past of the 1970s or whatever.
The best sales nowadays is just nostalgia. Nostalgia sells.
Yeah, I mean,
so and it works. It really does. You see something that you haven't seen in a while, and then a company like Atari is like, "Hey, we're making our own console that's, doing all this," and people like who grew up with that, they're gonna be like, "Of course, I'm gonna buy it."
Maybe I'm just an idiot, but I didn't know Atari still existed.
I thought Atari got bought out.
I thought someone just
like
owned
Sega.
Atari. Yeah, so because I remember when like Richie has like the Sega that came pre-downloaded with all the games. I don't know what it's called. It came out not too long ago, and
Yeah.
I was stuck there, and I was over here playing like Shinobi and all this like Sonic, and I was just like, and I was all into it, and I was like, wait, hold up, why can't I? Oh wait, that's Sonic 2. I'm ahead of myself. Hold up, I was trying to do the whole like vamp where he like loads and then shoots off, and he's like, that's Sonic 2. I was like, you're right, Richie, my bad. So stuff like that, like that's wild. I didn't for one. I didn't know Atari was like legit anymore. So oops on me. That is dope. Like I'm definitely gonna Google it, and I'll be like, man. I'm gonna message next time and be like, "It's your fault." I'll be like, see, relay my message. We cool, but damn it.
Yeah, there's quite a few things that Rojas will say, next level, it's your fault. So I'm used to it. It's okay.
Like I'm used to it. I'll be like, look, dude, like we cool. I love the dude. I have a great time, but like, you can't be telling me stuff like this and expect me not to like, go donate blood so I can buy it now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, take this plasma. I don't need it. Nah. I did have my question though for y'all. Like, so when it came to like the Switch and they dropped the new Pokemans, like of course, like no one, sorry, man, the Pokemans, bro.
I think I got to say it like that because I'm like, yeah, new Pokemans. Pokemon? No, Pokemans, bro.
And it's stuck now. And then every now and again, I'll geek out with the homie, and I'm like, "Yeah, you do Pocket Monsters," and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Google it."
Exactly, Google it. Probably it's been called Pokemon.
But like, I always loved the Pokemon games. Damn it, Pokemon games. But I told him like, I mean, they're never probably ever really gonna do it because
Game Freak's always gonna be making games.
Well, yeah, but my thing was like, so like, you know how like you have basically your standard version of Pokemon, which is you follow the little character, blah blah blah. But like, I know in the new ones you could see the Pokemon like in 3-dimensional, like you can see them roaming or whatever
in the wild and stuff. Yeah.
I was like, what? Eventually, it'd be cool to see like a version of Pokemon that's more like on the Sony or Xbox side, where it's like a whole storyline and you're walking and it's like more. I can't even compare it to anything, but like
open world.
Yeah, in a sense where like you're walking around, but everything's like in your face instead of having like almost a top view or like this weird like third person like you are the character, you're going around and you'll see the Pokemon walk in front of you, or like there's a battle, you'll actually see the battle happen, stuff like that. And you could like now at this point you would get to like the graphic part where it's like it starts to look like, like Cyberpunk or Valhalla, like it's starting to look like that. So you're roaming and you see this Pokemon, you're like, oh shit. Versus like I'm gonna catch it and like it's all like reading. Now you have like dialogue, you'll see the battles and stuff like that. I would just like that's what I'm waiting for. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna play all the Pokemons until then. But when that comes out, I'm buying like 2 for no reason.
So would it be more of a first person then?
It would be more of a first person. That's what you're picturing is more of a first person. Because right now, because all Pokemon games are all third person, and
you have like that hover almost.
The latest one is it's still third person in a sense, but you could actually see your whole entire character walk. So instead of just being over the shoulder or just seeing the top part of his body, you see the whole entire your own character just walking around, and you get to see Pokemon actually in the wild interacting with other Pokemon and just walking around. And the one thing I do like about the new Pokemon, which is Pokemon Sword and Shield, if you like walk too close to a Pokemon and it sees you, it will chase you. And I've never been scared of a fucking Nidoking chasing me in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, shit. Oh, it's wild. So I mean,
the closest thing you're going to get to that is if you go download Pokemon Go on your phone and you leave it in AR mode. That's the closest thing you're going to get right now.
Yeah.
So, but like that's just the one thing. Like, I mean, because Nintendo doesn't need to do that at all because this formula works that they have already.
It's worked for eons.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, and I know it's going to continue to work because I'm the guy who wants this new thing, but I'm still the guy who's going to like buy and play the formula.
Yeah, because Nintendo's not going to die. It's a staple of of culture, and
as long as we keep making fun of the 64 throughout game pop culture and media, we're
exactly
good to go.
Game Freak's gonna still continue making on Pokemon games. Nintendo's still gonna make Super Smash Bros, Super Mario Kart, Mario Party, and the Mario Bros. Like they'll just keep making more games like that, and then people will still buy it. Because I'm gonna keep buying it.
I mean, I'm there.
Legend of Zelda, that's another one. Breath of the Wild. So
isn't it finally getting like a
it's a part 2. It's a legit sequel because that timeline is always screwy, and every time I read it, I feel like I'm reading scriptures from like a whole different dialect.
Okay, Barry Allen.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I think. Have you guys played Final Fantasy VII Remake?
I have not yet.
I'll be honest. I'm gonna come out clean. I never really cared for Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
and that's just me. I'm sorry. I never. I had a friend. Yes, thank you. Someone.
It's all right.
I had a friend that I used to live with, and he would always talk about how Final Fantasy, and he would give me like all this like details, and I never had the heart to tell him like I don't really care, but I listen to it, so I know a little bit about the game, but I just never got a chance to because I always see him play it, and I'm just like, it's not for me.
Like my biggest issue, like what I would see with the old Final Fantasy was like always top down. And I would see around, and I was just like, no, that's not for me. But then I watched this anime. It was like the 5 Children or something like that. And after I watched that, I was like, these characters are awesome. Why can't I do this in the game?
So Final Fantasy VII reminds me of Pokemon, like how it's that top view
RPG,
and
right? Yeah.
So I played 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-2, and then after that I just couldn't do it. They're up to 15. I almost got 15, and now I did with the PS5. Yeah. But check out any type of gameplay on Final Fantasy VII Remake, and your idea of that Pokemon, what you're talking about, is exactly what they're doing right now with that game. It's you see your character.
It's totally remastered. It's you actually get to see Cloud doing some badass stuff with his big sword.
Yeah,
and you get to see the I don't know the big guy's name, the big black guy with the handgun.
Oh, I don't know.
His is a minigun.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it looks really clean. And like when I saw like the gameplay for it and the trailer for it, I was like, okay, well maybe I'll try it because it looks like this now. But like whenever I saw my homie play it, and like I don't even remember what console he was playing it on, but he was like playing it, and I was just like, yeah, that's not for me, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, if you do get the PS5, I would highly recommend to try it out. What they did that game, I think that game was the first 4 CD game on the PlayStation. Damn. 4 discs. Yeah. As soon as you got to the end of the first disc, it would stop and say, please load disc 2. And so, you're like, ooh, disc 2.
I had to watch movies on 2 VHSs.
I know. That's what I said. Titanic. Oh my God, no.
So what they're doing now is they put Final Fantasy VII Remake, and this is part 1. So they took one entire story of just one area, and they just went so in depth with it. And the things that you can do, like when I was done with it, I'm just like, wait a minute. Like, this is not even scratching what the story is. Like the actual full story, it gets pretty deep, and it's pretty cool with some of the things that for me, I geeked out on that top view and doing all that stuff. I hated reading it. I hated like
I was over here like, man, I'm trying to play a video game. If I wanted to read,
I don't want to read.
That's why you're illiterate. Yeah. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
So with the new one, now it actually talks, and I'm like, yes, finally, I have to freaking read, just listen to them play,
Yeah, that's basically what you described as like how you want like a Pokemon game, and it would be dope to see it like that as well.
I think it would just be cool to see that, because then like it'd be.
But the thing is like
immersive.
Yeah, but the thing is like I think the studio who remade Final Fantasy, I don't think they're owned by anybody. I don't think so.
I have no idea.
Because it's Final Fantasy 7. It's Final Fantasy 7 for both consoles, like Xbox and PlayStation.
I think it's only for PlayStation, but you know what? Let me check.
Because I don't remember. You know what? I do remember what console my homie used to play in. The original one, he used to play it on the Wii U, because the Wii U allowed you to download like a lot of games from like different like.
Listen, if it's on the Wii U, it's on the Xbox too. Let's put it there.
Yeah, because the Wii U had like a bunch, like all the Mega Man games from Capcom. They were all there, like Mega Man 1, 2, 3. They were all in there. Castlevania. Wii U, like that's the one thing I would give the Wii U, is that they had a lot of games from like older generations and like from different platforms into it.
That's cool.
But the Wii U itself, it just sucked.
Not gonna lie though, like I do want to try it. Like if it looks and sounds like what you guys are saying, I want to try it, because all the lore and stuff that goes with Final Fantasy has always intrigued me. I like the characters and the way they describe them, their capabilities. I'm like, that would be dope. Like I'd like to like actually see that. So if it looks like that, shit, I'm gonna have to put it.
I'll say this. I'm just reading a statement here. PS4. From The Verge, It says the upcoming remake, so this is right before it came out, of Final Fantasy VII will be only exclusive to the PS4 for the first year. After March 3rd of 2021, it's more likely to move on to the Xbox and PC.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see. It says it will be available.
Interesting.
But if you're 15, if your storyline is 15 games in and then you come to an exclusive platform, I don't know if you're too far gone for me to really be interested at this point. Like, I gotta follow up the storyline, but I gotta go back like 10 generations to another platform and buy another whole.
every game is exclusive. Every game has its own every game has its own story. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember my roomie, he would explain it this way. He said, and I'm paraphrasing a lot, but he said like the first like 6 games, the creator, like when he created these games and the stories for it, the studio not like it because it didn't get enough sales. His Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be like his last like work because they said this was supposed to be make or break him basically. And when it basically, made so well with 7 story wise and everything, he just continued on. But I like the last 6 Final Fantasies, you don't really have to like play them to know anything beyond 7, to be honest.
So I have a really interesting topic for both of you guys, and we kind of just led right into it. And both of you guys love stories, you love movies, you love games. And it's been really interesting to see how cinematic games are becoming. Your cutscenes are legit movies. And, the funding that goes into these games and the cinematic universe of them rivals that of the movie industry. Some of these games cost millions of dollars to produce because of how cinematic it is. Do you guys have any knowledge or any input in regards to, do you think that we are going and we're trending towards, the gaming industry having more funding or more expenditures in regards to producing these stories and how cinematic they actually are versus the actual movie industry itself?
I think just to go off of like with the PS4, so like just to go with like God of War. So God of War had like this crazy story and was so in depth that people wanted a movie for it too. People wanted something for it. And then when they dropped, my bad, dude.
That's fine.
When they dropped God of War number 5, I remember when we first started playing it, it's like this whole beautiful like scene in your cutscene, and you're just like, all right, cool. And then it's like press X, and I'm like, wait, what? I thought that we're not what? Like I was still watching. Like press X, and we're like pressing, and he starts chopping. I'm like, this is the game.
It's very fluid, and it does require a lot of work because now I see it as this way, that games, since they're so cinematic, they actually have to get directors to direct voice actors and stuff, which back then it was much easier because cutscenes were so choppy. Like looking back at like older games and like I won't even go that far, but I'll go Horizon Zero Dawn for the PlayStation 4. I love the story on that game so much. My issue with it after playing like God of War and Spider-Man is that the cutscenes were so choppy because you would get the cinematic like dialogue, and it wasn't even cinematic. It was more like just back and forth talking, like back in the old days, and it really sucked because we get so used to this cinematic like masterpiece like God of War and Spider-Man, where it's just so fluid that you think you're watching a movie. Next thing you know, you have to press a button or you're gonna die. And
it's funny because like the first time I really saw that was for the game I think was called The Order
of 1888.
That game, because I remember I remember playing it for the first time, and I was like super excited because it had to do with like spooky, scary lore, and I was like all into it. And it just right off the back, like you're being like tortured, and then it's like press X, and I was like, what? And then I drowned, and I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I was watching a cutscene and I died, and I got to restart. Like that was the first time I started to really notice the connection, because I think that's one of the reasons I love Gears so much, because it's so fluid and it's like the tiniest detail pushes forward the entire story for the next one and the next one. And the only other game that I really know that really did that on like such a huge level was Mass Effect, but I never got to play it. But I knew like decisions carried over so drastically. And then you had like, you can watch, like right now, if I would, like, I could go on YouTube and watch the cutscenes for all the Gears of War movies, just cutscenes, and I get this cinematic movie almost, and I'm sitting there watching it like, yeah, this is beautiful. Like I'm over here just like, I did that.
Yeah, because now with because before you had directors for games, but their job was to do the gameplay.
Yeah.
But now because with God of War, I believe they got different people to work on it, even people from like actual like cinematography to work on it, because the cutscenes were so fluid and they were so cinematic that they had to actually get like a director who was like in charge of like animations and stuff.
Even had
to make sure it transitions so well with the gameplay. And games are just getting more and more like this because that's what people want. That's what people like. It's just it's a great way to make it seem like it's such an interactive. You're playing an interactive movie. Yeah. In a sense, is what it is, and it's so great that you want more. And then you're like, well, now I just want a movie about it. And now you got people. Now you got studios who are making Uncharted, and we're finally getting another Mortal Kombat. And I mean,
you're even going to get a Resident Evil,
and so we're just getting more and more movies coming out for these games. And
God of War is one that supposedly is getting a series, like actual TV series.
The Witcher has a series.
The Witcher got a series, and like so, now it's just. I think I agree. It's just like you have this whole like fluid motion where it's no longer like, oh, it's a cutscene. Okay, I'm playing. Now it's kind of just this giant story, and there's pieces of it that you have to make choices, and there's other pieces where you kind of just get to witness. So like now it just feels more fluid and more immersive, because now I'm like, I went from playing this character to like I feel like I am this character.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So just a quick fact: the most expensive produced video game ever made is Destiny at $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
So when we start to look at, why are we spending $80, $90, $100 on a game and all this downloadable content? There is so many moving parts that happen behind the scenes that people have to get paid. They do. So it's crazy. $500 million to produce a video game in 2020, well, whatever year that Destiny came out in. But the average is, $50 million to $250 million is the average these days. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's going to get much more expensive as the years go by, because like we said, it's just the more a game becomes immersive and the more you have to get these other people to work on this game and pay them, games are going to become more expensive. And I think that's one thing that I looked up on how expensive the games are going to be for PlayStation 5 and Xbox.
Oh yeah, they all went up like a minimum of like $10.
They all went up for like $10, and so I think in the next decade, when they come up with the more gens, we will see the price for these games go up, because now these games are costing more to produce and to make.
Yeah, 100%.
And to pay these people who work in these studios and everything.
Yeah,
especially now, because a lot of companies are basically screwing over their employees. And that's why you have a lot of people who work for these companies start to make unions, because they're working so many long hours just to push this product out. They're not getting paid overtime, and sometimes they'll be like, "Well, I have to have an emergency," and they'll get fired just because, "Oh, well, we don't need you no more. We'll get somebody else." Because in a sense, this industry is a chopping block, because they can easily get rid of you because there's another person next in line who wants to work on these games. And I mean, once they fix that, it'll still be cost expensive.
Yeah, I mean, because like what I saw for like these new games, just for the current stuff like PS5 and Xbox Series X, is that probably like the new standard price is going to be like $69.99 instead of the $59.99.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, $10 doesn't sound like a lot,
but when you're paying it for $70,
but now like it's not a huge deal now just because of what we're getting. But I mean, once we start pushing even further, Like, and there's probably gonna be games that come out like your most basic standard version of the game is gonna be like $100. You know what I mean? Just because of what went into it and what kind of, I don't have a better word, but craziness it makes up. You know what I mean? Like, so I see how it's gonna get there. But I mean, like you gotta if you want that, if I know I want it, but if we want that level of quality, and we just started to see glimpses of it, you gotta pay for it, because like now you have a whole new jobs that are being not created but being intertwined. Like back in the day, you didn't have cinematographers and directors of photography for a video game. You know what I mean? You didn't have millions and millions into like extreme mocap with like all the dots. Like now you're getting more and more where like there's videos of dudes like literally hauling something and like just for 2-3 seconds of the game, but that right there costs a few mil.
Graphic designers also to just create these characters in detail to put them on the video game itself as well.
So to push the standards, bro. But no, I get it. Like, as you know, I'm as a cheap bum that I am, that $70 kind of hurts, but I'm still gonna pay it because I was like, I want to play it. So,
me too. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this real quick. I'll go first, and I'll have Next Level go last. So
I feel so bad for Next Level. He's been every time I see him, he's like, I want to say something, but I get cut off by these assholes.
So think about the most you only get one.
Oh man, I don't like this.
Of all time, most favorite game across any platform, any handheld, any arcade, doesn't matter. Just one. I'll go first. There's a lot of games that I come in mind when it comes to all the different platforms and all the different, taking my quarter to the arcade. Now it's like $1.50 or whatever it is at fucking Dave and Buster's. But my favorite game of all time would be Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES.
That was with the Tanuki suit, right?
Yeah.
Introduced the Tanuki suit.
Yeah. For me, I loved it. I know it's such an old game, but I think that game introduced like dimensions.
I think that's when you had 12-bit or 16-bit, if I'm not
16-bit.
Yeah, 16-bit. Yeah. Everything was 8-bit, and then they went to 16-bit on that one, and it was such a big jump back in the day.
Yeah. So for me, when I like Mario 1, I think it was just like that cool, like, ooh, here's the first game I ever get to play on my TV and I don't have to go somewhere. Or it was just it wasn't like Atari, you had that, Pong or whatever it was. So it was and I didn't like 2. I didn't like Mario Brothers 2. I thought that was a stupid game. I hated it. But the third one, for me, that was just like, if you were to tell me like, hey, let's play some like an old game or whatever, I'd probably pop that thing in and be like, okay, let's go. Let's take turns and play it. So that'll be my favorite of all time.
Dope.
I've never beaten a Mario game. I'll be the first one. I've played all of them. Never beat a single one. I beat the first level, and after that, I can never get past the second level. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done.
I've beaten all of them.
I've never beaten any of them, and to this day, I probably never will. I'll die, and then you can put in my tombstone, he never beat a Mario game, and I'll be like, yeah, I never did. Say la vie.
So what about you guys? What are your favorite all time?
You go first. No, you go first.
You said you had one.
No, I lied. Right. I lied.
You said you had one.
No, I lied. I take it back.
Mine's gonna be funny because like I know what it is, because it's like really what got me into wanting to game more, but like I just don't want to say it yet. Because like,
do you want Next Level to go first?
I'll say it. It's not bad. Like I actually love this game. It was like, all right, fuck it. All right, like it's not even like it. I played other games, but like it was the first. Like I think it's the first game I played at like my babysitter's.
He's like My Little Pony.
No, it's a Nintendo Dogs.
Like it's what made me like want to like actually ask for like a system and like try to play and stuff. the first video game I ever like actually played was like it was Sly Cooper, and I just have like this weird nostalgic memory of playing it and going through and beating it, and like just I remember like playing the second one, and like I was super stoked, and like I just had this weird thing like every time I see a raccoon, I'm like, hey, look, it's Sly. Like I just like if they came out with another one right now, I'm buying it. There's no question. There's like get out of my way. I need this game. I'm buying it. I'm playing it. Work. I can't come in for the next 3 days. This is generally the first game that I got to play. Like that wasn't an arcade game. Like before that, I played, of course, like arcade games, Pac-Man, Galaga, and stuff like that. But my babysitter had Sly Cooper, and it was like, "Do you want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've never played before." And you're like, "Here, try it out." And I was just like, "Oh, this is beautiful." And then that's what I started getting into. And then I was like, "Dad, yo, like, can you like maybe give me a PlayStation?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "I mean, I didn't say nothing unless you get it." Like, unless it's cool. And then that's when I got a PlayStation 2, and then I started getting into like God of War. And then my mom was like, "Well, here you go an Xbox." I was like, "Oh, I went from 0 to both." Like my habit. But yeah, dude, like my favorite game all time is like I won't say anything out loud, but in my head, like I'll make a random ass reference to Sly Cooper out of nowhere. It'll be the middle of the day, like I'll be eating lunch, and I'm just like, I remember that part. Like I just randomly, I don't know why. Like I generally don't have a legit reason. But yeah, that would probably be my favorite game, just because I don't know, just something about being Sly Cooper, being like the thieviest raccoon, bro, and then having a hippo and a turtle as your squad. Gold.
That's awesome. What about you, Eric?
You go.
No, oh man. Because I started playing video games. Because my first system was a PlayStation, and I played Crash Bandicoot and I played Spyro. But after that, I found a Game Boy Color, and I had Pokemon Yellow, and I loved Pokemon ever since. And I think I'm about to stick with Pokemon because at first I was gonna say Dead Space. I love Dead Space 1 and 2.
I would have called you a liar.
But Pokemon is definitely my favorite game all time. It's still I still play it till this day. I don't care like if they announce a new one in the next month, I'll still buy it. I'm gonna play it. I don't know what about it. I really liked it a lot. Just the fact that you have these little characters. Like I felt like I had pets. I think Cosmos stems from a very bad. I could never own pets as a kid, so that was the closest thing I could get. And I don't know. Pokemon is definitely my favorite game, and it's to this day because I still have like Pokemon memorabilia still from like back in the day.
Yeah.
And my keychain is Gengar. Gengar's my favorite Pokemon, and I'm thinking about getting a Pokemon tattoo. So yeah, most definitely my favorite video game is Pokemon.
Yeah, if you said anything else,
I don't know. Hey, I can't pick one because there's like 20 of them. So it's just the whole series. The whole franchise is my favorite.
We'll accept that.
So they got you hooked, and the reason you can't drop it is because you're never going to be able to catch them all because they keep making more Pokemon.
Exactly. They never stop. So you keep going.
They give you this beautiful catchy song about catching them all and being the very best, like no one ever was. And then they release a brand new one like every few hours, and I'm just like, bro, like just like
my son just started getting back into Pokemon Go, right? So I'm watching him play now, and I used to play with him when it first came out. We would go out and do all the raids and stuff like that. I'm looking over, I'm like, when did Electabuzz get an evolution? Like, what is that? Like,
I'm in the same boat. Like, Eric, like, have you seen this? And I'm like, what do you mean? He shows it to me, like, why is Charizard a different color?
Oh yeah, because
why is Charizard? I was like, hold up.
You know what? No, I take it back. My favorite Pokemon game then is Omega Ruby, which is a revamped of Ruby for the Nintendo Advanced. I can't remember which one.
What? But I thought it was the Game Boy Advance. No?
One of those. Can't remember. Yeah, the Game Boy Advance. Because it was Ruby, and then they revamped it for the 3DS, the new 3DS XL for they called it Omega Ruby, where they did Mega Evolutions, which they released on a different video game. Anyway, long story short, you can evolve Pokemon that are already at the last level to a different level, but they don't stay that way. They have to go back after the battle. And I showed it to him because I was like, look what Charizard can do. And he was like, when did he gain more wings?
Because like Charizard's my favorite. I go to town for Charizard, and he was like, "Yeah, look at this." I was like, "That's not Charizard. This is some weird mythical a fantasy dragon that doesn't exist, sir.
I put 900 hours on that Pokemon game. The most time I've ever spent on any game.
Damn, that's more than our friendship.
That's more than my life. I was like, damn, 900 hours.
Okay, so I'm gonna dive into it. I'm gonna get a little bit in my feels because I do believe in a statement where it says, we don't always necessarily remember certain things, but we remember how certain things make us feel. And I believe that there are certain games that have a certain bonding impact, either with a friend that we're playing with or something that we connect to within the game or whatever. So, I mean, my very first game system was a Super Nintendo. And I mean, you're talking about Super Mario 2 and Super Mario 3. Those were dope. But fighting wise, I can name like each category. Fighting wise, Mortal Kombat 2. Like, I loved Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2 was wicked. But when I got my first shooting game, that was on my Nintendo 64. That was Perfect Dark. And me and my best friend at the time, we both had Nintendo 64s, and we only owned one Perfect Dark game. And the rule was we either play together or we don't play. And that game lasted us for years. We would literally spend whole weekends where we would just order 2 large pizzas, 2 liters of Cokes, and just mash down Perfect Dark. And I know like there's a lot of people like GoldenEye or whatever. We just had a thing for Perfect Dark, and we could like sit down right now and just go ham on Perfect Dark if we had it in front of us. Like I go to the pawn stores all the time, and I sit there and I look at Perfect Dark, and I'm like, man, if you only had an HDMI port.
He's like, look,
I forgot the cables. How'd they go again?
He's like, look,
red and yellow.
My letter is almost tight, and I'm saying this out that I need an HDMI port on a revamp so I can play this. Damn it! Like, nah,
but the game that really took me into there was 2 games, but the game that really took me into multiplayer and working as a team and really talking on a headset and getting into that full immersive environment, I can't, like, it has to be Gears of War. Gears of War, the horde mode on that, where you're working as a team and you're fighting off 50 waves of people, and they get smarter and stronger and more accurate, and you're sitting there, you're holding down a fort, you're building it up. Like, that was the game that got me into like multiplayer. And as I got into, this is kind of silly, but as I got into more serious work positions, and I was working downtown Toronto in big glass buildings, I'm not even lying, my whole department would get together every Thursday, and we would go against clans for Call of Duty.
Hey.
And if you were not good at Call of Duty, you were not part of the in crowd at work. I'm talking my manager would sit back and he would snipe, and like everybody had their own position. And I never played Call of Duty in my life. I was walking in here and I'm like, yo, Gears of War, why don't you guys play Gears of War with me? And they're like, psh. So I had to switch up now from, what was it, third person to first person. And there was a learning curve, but I had to do it in order to fit into the in crowd at work. So like I said, there is certain games or certain situations. There's certain situations that help you bond with certain games at different times of your life.
Mm-hmm.
100%. 100%. I can recall. I can tell you which GameStop where I saw the first cutout of Marcus Phoenix, and I was like, "This seems interesting." And then after that, my cousin Andrew was like, "Yeah, dude, Gears of War, you haven't heard of it?" And I was like, "No," and he was like, "Yeah, dude, it's gonna be amazing." Blah blah. And then he showed me, like a glimpse of it, and it was like the original trailer with the sad with the song. Oh my God, Cold World? No, Mad World. And like I saw the trailer and I was like all emotional. I was like, oh, what is this? And he was like, dude, it's gonna be amazing. I was like, we need to go to GameStop. Hey, oh mom, can you like take us? Like, and this is in Moreno Valley, California. I was like, mom, can we go to GameStop? I want to pre-order a game. And she was like, all right. So she took us, and we both pre-ordered Gears of War together at the same time. And that's when I got into multiplayer with him, because he was like, bro, you need to get Xbox Live so we can play together. I was like, I don't know what that means. I was like, and he was like explaining it to me, and I was like, I still don't, like, I don't get it. He's like, just sign up for it and you'll figure it out. I was like, all right. And we played, and then we would like we couldn't hang out all the time, but we could stay up at night and we'll chat and we'll be playing. I remember me and him be like, left flank, damn it, Andrew, I said on the left. I said on the left. That's what I think that's why Gears connects me, because it was just one of those things where, like, and I was good at it, damn it. And I was like tear. I was good at it.
Tear.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, just like there's certain things that connect to it. Like I just remember, I can immediately remember this moment. Like I told you with like movies and stuff, it's similar where like there's this instant memory and there's a connection to that moment. And it just happened like it also happens with the games, like things that just hit. And I'm just like, oh, good times.
Yeah. So this is now towards the end of the show. We've been talking a lot about a lot of stuff. So I hope everybody.
Y'all can't be ready.
I hope everybody out there, if they don't have a PlayStation or an Xbox, make sure you do. Just keep your eyes out. There's always announcements on when something's gonna drop and when it'll be available. So just keep in mind when that does happen. But before we end the show, there's a couple things we do. We always let our guest, you guys, whatever you guys want to say, go ahead and say whatever you guys want. If you guys want to promote yourselves, shout yourselves out, whatever you guys want, take the platform, go for it.
Right off the back, I gotta say it again. Thank you for having both of us, for having me again. For dealing with me again. Y'all didn't take enough punishment the first time, so thank you. And then generally just thanks for like, having the open conversation, because like I generally have a really like a fun ass time talking with y'all, because like we're like different, but we have enough similarities where we can just like go and like that's what I love to do. This is like those late night conversations by the table outside over a beer type thing. Just virtual table, virtual real beer. No, just
absolutely.
Thank you for having us. Definitely, whoever's listening, continue checking out Beyond the Stream. Check out Next Level. Check out Rohas. If you get a sec, check out I Just Watched with me and Eric, me and David. We appreciate any and all love that we receive. And again, thank you to both of y'all for having me, for having us. And at the end of the day, just putting up with the shenanigans that is me.
Oh, it's me now?
I mean, no pressure. Just say something.
I'm never ready for these. No, thanks once again. Thanks once again, Rojas, for having us both. Thanks, Next Level, to have this chat with you. I really liked having this. I've never done this before, so this is my first time, and I'm nervous as hell all the time. I am very antisocial, so this is like baby steps for me, But thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much for dealing with this retard right here.
I can say it though.
No, I say it too. Definitely check out Rojas. Definitely check out Next Level. And when you get a chance, check out I Just Watched and our second channel, I Just Played. And big shout out to Rojas for having us in this live stream. And shout out to Next Level. Nice meeting you. And I think that's all I got for me.
Yeah, dude.
You don't get much. That was my 120 characters.
My 120 characters. But I'll top it off again. Thank y'all. Like, I feel like. I mean, Steve, like, you don't have a choice. We're family. like, at least Next Level is kind of like once or twice a year, bro. That's it. Steve's kind of like, dude, I know, I wish. Like now I can be like, yeah, dude, I know people in Canada. I know, but like, hold up. Hey, yo, Steve, tell Next Level to say that he knows me. So I can prove a point. Hold on.
It's really awesome that we got to have you guys back on again. We've had an awesome conversation about everything from movies, comics, game consoles, nostalgia to future consoles that are coming, kind of our perspectives in regards to where we've come from in regards to our gaming experiences and maybe where a lot of people are going in the future. These conversations are always a way of learning from each other, about each other, and really getting to know the people that are a part of the community. So it's an awesome way that we can really connect communities together. A lot of the people that follow us for a way to watch TV shows and movies.
or maybe even coming soon, a way to stream games on cloud-based services. But connecting with you guys from I Just Watched and I Just Played is a really good transition or a really good handoff for people who are looking for more in-depth content or more in-depth things that might interest them in those fields themselves. Like, we're showing them the door. We're like, this is how you get there. But these guys could tell you what might be interesting that you haven't heard of when you pass that door, when you cross that threshold, right? So I really do hope that you guys keep doing what you guys do. Honestly, you guys have a really good dynamic. So don't stop what you guys do. Keep working on both channels. And if you guys can't afford the next gen console, then start a channel called I Just Wish, and you can talk about all consoles that you wish you had. So, hey.
Like this, hey, disclaimer, you're gonna hear it, like everything sounds super groggy. It's not the mic, it's just that I haven't stopped crying. I
thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it, and I really do hope to have more of these because I actually enjoyed this a lot. And it's, to me, in a sense, it helps me get out of my shell. It helps me to actually talk more because I do enjoy talking. I spend hours with him talking about video games, consoles, movies, comics, anything and everything we always talk about. So I do appreciate it. I would appreciate it if you do bring me back if you're not done with me. Fuck you. This is why I have these problems.
He's all like, this is why I got a Twitch.
this is why I got a
I was like, see, I can only like a little bit. If now you're gonna break out, and then I'm gonna be alone. So now I gotta baby step it, bro.
Gotta keep me.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's on Beyond the Streams and having you guys here on the channel. We just want to thank you guys once again. It's great to have these conversations, and it's really cool to keep up with like current events, with what's happening. And we all have a common thing here is, we like to game. We like to have fun. We like to just enjoy that. Like, even if it's a nostalgia, if it's an old game, new game, future gaming, we all have something in common. So again, I just want to say thank you. And for anybody out there listening, make sure you guys do check the description below. We will put the links for the YouTube channels. That way you guys could check it out, and that way you guys could follow them on all the different platforms. If you are listening to us in the audio in the different podcast platforms, or if you're on YouTube, make sure you leave us a comment below, leave us a review, hit the thumbs up, do whatever it takes to get our attention. And we always read you guys' comments, so we really truly appreciate you guys. With all that being said, one of the last things we say here is you guys take care, and you take care of each other.
And stay humble and be patient, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Adios.